What is up, people of YouTube? I'm the wife and I'm here with your host Vernon. This is Lava Butte. Let's fish that.
Alright, ladies and gents, wintertime fishing can be real hard, especially here in Nevada where the fishing seems to be really hard. In any case, wintertime the fish can completely shut down, and if you've been following my videos you will know that I've been struggling to find fish. You've seen me catch trout in many of the park ponds, so I don't want to continuously do the same thing over and over. Now, when looking on YouTube and seeing someone like Extreme Philly Fishing or John B going down to Florida catching tons of fish out there, it's kind of sad we're not getting that much action. And after complaining for a while, the wife finally said she had enough. She wants to take me out there to go get some fish. And for that reason, we made our way to the Las Vegas wash inside the Lake Mead area with the idea that we're going to be fishing the creek, seeing if we can find any fish. If the fish are in deep water, then by going to a little creek, you get closer to the fish. Alright, so we have a very strong inflow of water, meaning the noise levels are going to be quite loud, the rushing of the water, but I'll try and speak as loud as possible. Now, being two licensed anglers out there, we are going to try and maximize our chances by using 2 rods each. Our first 2 setups we have on the little automatic hook setters. Those are just some Carolina rigs with some night crawlers, hoping to get some of the catfish we know are in these waters. We're just going to soak that out there, wait for the fish to find them. Now, the setup the wife is using out there, it's just a little jig head crawler. We're using some jig heads, and on that you just put on a little night crawler, casting that around, seeing if maybe we can get anything like the catfish or carp to go for this little worm when it's moving past them, or maybe some of the small bass we know are in here. Maybe they'll be willing to go for that.
Okay, so we have a little jig head with some night crawler on there. So we're going pretty hard on the night crawler this morning. And basically I'm just going to try and cast it to like the little bit of a deeper areas here where you can see that the water looks slightly calmer in that area. So the pull of the water is actually quite strong, so it's going to be pulled downstream together with the water, and then I'm just going to kind of hop or move it on the bottom of the creek bed.
And on my second setup I want to try using a little drop shot rig just to give a different presentation of the little night crawler out in the water. We're using some bigger chunks, might have to use a bit bigger, especially during winter months. The more worm there is, the more of a bargain it is for the fish to eat, so we'll try some bigger chunks as well. But we're going to be making some casts, trying to find some holes, see if we get any fish. Alright guys, it looks like we have something on. Putting up a decent fight. Looks to be a big catfish. It is actually a carp, not a catfish. We'll just let him tire out some before we try and get him in the net. This is on the little drop shot night crawler. Using very light line for carp. So we're going to let him just swim around a bit before I try and land him. Of course, he's right in between my 2 rods. So we'll see if maybe we can get him underneath one of the rods. Rather big carp. Quickly gonna grab the net from the wife. Alright, so let's quickly have a look at this fish. He's a bit big for the net, but let's quickly get the hook out. As one would expect from a carp living in a creek, he has quite a pungent odor on him. Carp are quite smelly, especially with this much slime. Let's see if the scale is loose. You can see the size of that scale. Decent sized carp. Let's quickly get the hook out, get him back to the water. Nice, decent carp. We're going to put him back into the water. Not keeping any fish we're catching out of the Las Vegas Creek. Especially stinky, smelly little carp. So let's get him back to the water. Alright, and the wife is going to release him. Just going to lower the net back to the water. And off he goes. First fish for today, little carp, landed on little nightcrawler. So just to be clear, I was jigging the rod around this area when I got right here next to the bank. There's a rock. Just below that rock, that's where that little fish decided to grab the nightcrawler. Quite a bit of a fight because it's such a big fish for such light line. Didn't get it all on camera, but we got our first little fish landed. And there we go. The wife has a little channel catfish, also using a little drop shot rig.
First fish of the year.
It's the wife's first fish for the year. Hooked nice in the corner of the lip. Decent little channel cat.
Croaking something fiercely.
So probably a little male if he's croaking that much. Oftentimes when you get them hooked in the corner of the mouth like this, a little soft tissue, it's quite difficult to get the hook out. You might need to fetch some pliers for that. Alright, so decent, lovely little channel cat. Let's get him back to the water. Alright, so we're going to get this little guy back to the water. And off he goes. First fish for the wife for the year. Tiny little channel cat. Good catch. Alright, so by now we've already lost something like 3 or 4 of our little Carolina rigs. It's not actually the weight that gets stuck on the rocks, it's actually having the hook down on the bottom. The hook gets stuck on the rocks rather easily. So to change that around, I'm doing kind of like a little drop shot rig, having my hook suspended above the weight. This means that the weight might get stuck, or if we do catch a fish, the weight might get stuck on some rock somewhere. That's a different battle we'll fight if something like that happens. But let's see if by lifting our hook out of the rocks, whether that makes any difference. The second rod, we still have the wife's little Carolina rig on that one. Not going to change that, only going to change this rod of mine. And another change that I want to be making are little jig head night crawlers. This current is too strong for them. They keep swimming to the top. It's very difficult to get them down to where the fish are when you have this much water rushing by. So I'm thinking on that rod, we're going to rather swap out to some lures, throw around some lures, see if maybe we can get some of the bass we know are in these waters to get a bit riled up and maybe start hitting some lures. Alright guys, change to a new spot. We just got a fish on. Been here for an hour or so. Struggling to find fish. Finally got another hit.
maybe 20 minute, ek dink nie so lank. Carp.
Yeah. It's another carp, but he's swimming downstream. Just need to try and fight him. We don't have too much space in this little cove we're in. Lots of reeds around. And there we go, got him in the net. Alright, so a bit smaller than the first one, but still nice to get another little carp. Let's get that hook out. Just quickly want to give him some oxygen again. We got him hooked nice in the top of the mouth and the little soft tissue. So just want to get the pliers to get the hook out. Alright, so I just quickly want to get this one out of the net so we can have a proper look at him. Nice golden colors on this little carp. They're very dark in this stream. Let's quickly get him back to the water. And down he goes. Alright, ladies and gents, we spent something like 4 hours out there. Started at 9, ending at 12. Quick little morning session. We're supposed to get some storms rolling in later today. The wind's supposed to pick up. That's why we're going to make a short video. But I have to admit, the wife is right. Getting on some fish is a good feeling again. Now, of course, this creek is loaded with fish. You can catch lots of different fish out there. We only managed to get some carp and some catfish. That just goes to show, still winter, still slow fishing. We didn't see any bass or any green sunfish or anything like that. So it is still important to remember that the fishing can be slow during winter, but getting on some fish is a good feeling again. Now, I'd like to point out once again that we chose this particular spot because of the canyon walls. I thought it might shield us a bit from the wind that's picking up. This particular creek has always been good to us, always found some fish out there. It is, of course, still a bit of a hike to get out here, something like half a mile to a mile, depending on which fishing spot you pick. It's still worth it to try and fish the Las Vegas Creek. Just remember, this is not the cleanest of water. I wouldn't recommend keeping any fish you catch from these waters. That's going to do for this video, guys. If you haven't yet, please do give me a little thumbs up for catching some fish. Feel free to ask any questions down below in the comments. If you've not subscribed to the channel yet, consider doing so, hitting the big red subscribe button, joining my community. Alright, but thank you for following along, and like always, see you next time.